The night it happened. That night, I was already unraveling at the edges. Suspicion gnawed at my gut like a dull blade, carving through my sense of peace. I've never been the type to snoop. Never the kind of husband to scan through text messages or second-guess every word spoken late at night. Trust was sacred to me. For over 8 years I believed our marriage, our love, rested on that unspoken vow. Honesty without surveillance. But Claire, she had changed. And not in a sudden, jarring way. No, she was slipping through my fingers one grain at a time. A glance held too long on her phone. A kiss that felt distracted. Conversations that ended before they began. She was fading right in front of me, and I let it happen because I told myself I was imagining it. Until I couldn't anymore. It began with her newfound obsession with the gym. 4 nights a week like clockwork. Always after work. Always coming home later than she said she would. She claimed she needed time. Just to unwind. She'd say. It's been a long day. Then came the phone. Always glued to her hand. A constant stream of smiles she didn't bother to explain. I'd walk into the room and her thumb would swipe fast. Too fast. To hide whatever had just flickered on screen. And that laugh, low, soft, intimate. The kind she used to reserve for me. That night, she was curled up on the couch, legs tucked underneath her, scrolling through her phone with that same sly little smile. I was in the kitchen, chopping onions for her favorite, garlic butter shrimp. I still held on to the foolish hope that maybe food could fix what was breaking between us. Maybe a familiar taste could bring us back to a familiar feeling. Her phone buzzed. She'd left it charging on the counter. Something she never did anymore. I glanced at it on instinct. A text notification lit up the screen. Kiss emoji. Sent to or from someone named Ethan. Everything in me went still. Ethan. I didn't know any Ethan in her life. Not a coworker. Not a friend. Not someone who warranted that kind of emoji. I stared at her phone. My heart felt like it had been caught mid-beat and frozen in ice. My fingers hesitated in the air. And then, without really thinking, I picked it up. The screen was unlocked. A small twist of fate that felt almost cruel in its timing. I tapped the message thread. And my world cracked. What I found wasn't a one-off flirty exchange. It was a full-blown, slow-burning betrayal. History. A relationship. Months of messages. Nickname. Flirtation. References to nights together. Inside jokes that no longer belonged to me. Mentions of a hotel near her gym. Coffee dates she never told me about. Pictures. Nothing explicit, but intimate in that sickening way you only recognize when you've seen someone look at you like that once. And then the truth landed. That kiss emoji. She hadn't received it. She'd sent it. To Ethan. But she'd made a mistake. She'd accidentally sent it to me. I wasn't even in her recent contacts anymore. He was. That single careless error had torn the veil down. Felt sick. My hands were trembling as I turned and walked into the living room. Her phone clenched in my fist. Claire looked up, and the second her eyes registered what I was holding, her face shifted. The smile disappeared. Her entire posture changed. Tense, tight, calculating. She didn't even try to lie. What's this? I asked, my voice low, each word like ground glass. For a moment she looked at me, not with fear or shame but with something worse. Amusement. Then came the smirk. That twisted, cruel little grin that confirmed everything I was afraid of. Guess you finally figured it out, she said. Took you long enough. The words hit me like a hammer. No denial. No apology. No panic. Just apathy. How long? I asked, throat raw. She stretched like she was waking from a nap. Long enough, she said, eyes gleaming. Long enough to realize I wanted more than this. You were my wife. I said. And you were safe. Predictable. Like a warm bath. But eventually, even that gets cold. I stood there frozen. Hollowed out. She got up, took her phone from my hand, and walked toward the bedroom like we'd just finished a dull conversation about groceries. I didn't follow her. I didn't yell. I just sat down at the kitchen table, surrounded by the smell of garlic, butter, and betrayal. I didn't sleep that night. Just stared into the dark while she lay in our bed like nothing had happened. And the next morning, she was humming while pouring her coffee like she hadn't just burned our entire life to the ground. That's when I realized something deeper than heartbreak. This wasn't a mistake. This was deliberate. This wasn't just an affair. It was war. I left that week. Not because she asked me to. Because I couldn't breathe around her anymore. Her perfume had turned rancid in my nose. Her voice, once soft and familiar, made my skin crawl. I packed a duffel, walked out of the house we bought together, and crashed at my oldest friend's place. Ben didn't ask questions. Just handed me a beer and said, "We're calling a lawyer tomorrow." And we did. Claire didn't take it well. First came the text. "You're being dramatic." "We were just having fun. You're blowing it out of proportion." "Ethan thinks you're weak." Then the threats. The demands. Half the house. Half the savings. Even custody of Luna, our golden retriever, who she only ever remembered to feed when it was convenient. But I had everything. Screenshots. Conversations. Pictures. Full paper trail. When we stood in court, she had her sob story rehearsed. Something about emotional abandonment. Loneliness. Me not being present. My attorney just slid a thick stack of printed evidence across the table. Her face cracked the moment she saw it. The judge didn't buy her act. And for once, justice didn't look the other way. 6 months later, the divorce was finalized. The house was sold. Claire got the couch she liked and a pittance of what she thought she'd walk away with. Luna sleeps at the foot of my new bed in a quiet apartment that finally feels like mine. Claire and Ethan didn't last. 3 weeks after the court date, he ghosted her. She called me once, drunk, sobbing. I didn't answer. Let it go to voicemail and deleted it without listening. Last I heard, she was back on the dating apps. Still looking for someone who can make her feel alive. And me. I'm not broken. I'm rebuilding. Because betrayal doesn't destroy you. Clarifies you. I was never the man who begged. Never the one who begged someone to stay. Turns out, I'm the man who knows when to walk away. And when necessary, I'm the one who burns it all down and builds something better from the ashes. The night Claire slipped away *. Let me know if you'd like a version written from Claire's POV or one where the husband stays and plots revenge.